and welcome to Adaptation, the vlog where we talk about film adaptations, even if they don't exist yet. This week I'm going to be dreamcasting the hypothetical film for Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. This was actually a really hard book to cast because there is little to no physical description of the characters that isn't a stylistic choice. Anybody can have messy hair and wear lots of eyeliner. And if I'm being honest, even when there was physical descriptions, I kind of tended to just ignore them in favor of casting who I wanted. But as this is my own personal dream cast, I'm pretty sure that's allowed. The first character I cast was Tiny Cooper, who is 6'6", meaty, and possibly my favorite description of all time, looks like a sexy baby. Yeah. But more importantly, he needs to be able to sing. Wait, not just sing, belt. Belt out the songs to his musical Hold Me Closer, formerly titled Tiny Dancer. Which is why I would like to see Alex Newell in the role. You might know him from Glee, where he played Unique Adams, so you know he can sing. And I hope he won't be offended by the fact that I kind of think he looks like a sexy baby. He's only 5'7", but you can't have everything. Strangely, my next casting decision was for Will Grayson #2, aka the one written by David Levithan, aka the one that never capitalizes, aka the one that Will Grayson #1 describes as small, big-eyed, and toe-headed. Confession, I did not know what toe-headed meant until after I cast the role as someone decidedly not toe-headed. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. I'm the worst English major ever. Paul Iacano is from The Hard Times of R.J. Berger and GBF, which I haven't seen, so I really hope I'm not typecasting him. Basically, there's just something about this guy's face that convinces me he can play terrified, depressed, and angry all at once, and that's really what I need in a second Will Grayson. Turning back to Will Grayson #1, there is the least amount of description of him of any other character, but I just think he needs to be the opposite of Will Grayson #2 because we know he's just not Tiny Cooper's type. Also, I kind of see him as a unassuming, everyman type of guy. Thus, I have decided on Angus T. Jones. And yes, that's the kid from 2.5 Men. I'm thinking his years on that show have taught him the dry sense of humor and I don't care attitude that's necessary in a first Will Grayson. On to Jane Turner, the musically pretentious love interest, has disastrously curly hair, eyes that crinkle when she smiles, her perfect smile, and a great nose, whatever that means. For this role, I have cast Mackenzie Lintz, who is currently playing Nori on Under the Dome and was the tribute from District 8 in the first Hunger Games film. Her hair might need to be a little bit more of a disaster, but I think she can pull off that sweet but tough when necessary persona. And her eyes even crinkle when she smiles. Maura, the not-so-best friend of Will Grayson #2, is just described as being pale and wearing lots of eyeliner. She's definitely got a kind of goth thing going on, but anyone can be styled that way. To me, she needed to be someone that could start off kind of likable, but then when things hit the fan, she could pull a really good bitch face. I like Isabel Fuhrman for this. Yes, another Hunger Games tribute. But we've seen her be the enemy in Clove, and if you ask me, Maura is even less redeemable. Isabel's actually really adorable in real life, so I think she can handle the beginning of being kind of likable and then I really hate Maura. Plus, for some reason, I just really like the idea of her having really dark, severe hair to contrast with Jane's curls, even though they're friends of the opposite Will Graysons. Bam. I'm so good at casting. I'm even thinking of like the metaphor that their hair is. I knew the term metaphor, what? And my next casting is sort of a bonus because I didn't plan on casting anybody except for the main 5 that I already mentioned. But along the way, I just got it into my head that I really wanted Ezra Miller in this movie. I just haven't decided who he should play. It's between Gary and Gideon. Gary's pretty much a background character for most of the story, but he ends up playing Phil Rayson in Tiny's musical, which is a really important part of the ending. Or at least I would make it a huge part of the end if I were making the film, and that's kind of the point of all this. But I'm not sure if Ezra can sing, and Gary is meant to have an amazing voice, like Pavarotti according to Will #1. Now Gideon is also a really minor character, but I absolutely love him. He befriends Will #2 after he comes out because he's one of the only other out students at their school. And I've always kind of imagined him as being the sort of attractive that takes you by surprise, since Will doesn't really see him that way and Tiny gets kind of jealous. So I'm leaving it up to you guys. Gary or Gideon? But don't stop there. Tell me in the comments if you agree with my other casting decisions and who you would have cast instead. Be sure to hit the subscribe button for weekly videos and check out our podcast on iTunes. All of the links are in the info section, along with those to our social media. Until next time, keep dreaming of your ideal cast.